Now that the government is officially back open, the Trump administration is now requiring that everyone that's on SNAP benefits must reapply. It's been reported that the main reason why they're making everyone reapply for their SNAP benefits because there's been a lot of fraudulent activity going on, such as people are using their family members' information, especially ones that are deceased. People are not updating their information. They said the states are not reporting it back to the government, something like that. I know the list goes on, but really it's because they want to cut down a lot of fraudulent activity. But at the same time, I'm not surprised it's even happening because this is what people have been doing for years. I'm actually glad they're actually doing this, putting a stop to this, because they need to start actually giving it to the people that deserve to actually be on it, like our senior citizens and our veterans, disability people. I'm talking about the ones that can't take care of themselves. A lot of people don't agree about that, but at the end of the day, everybody got their time.
Yes, I do, Miss Vanilla Scar. I agree with you 1,000%. But a lot of folks out in these internet streets don't necessarily agree. They see this as an attempt to kick folks when they're down. The reason I agree with what you're saying and why I do these types of videos is to get people that are able-bodied to see what is really going on, to get them to not settle for less and get off of the government dole so that you can take care of yourself at whatever level and degree that is. I believe that there's value in that. My name is Robert, and on this channel, my goal is to simplify the home loan process. Let's hear what this next gentleman has to say about the matter, because everybody does not have such of a forgiving heart or grace, if you will, as it pertains to this subject.
Y'all snapped and updated the rules like we all signed up for Hunger Games and didn't read the fine print. So this is the message to all able-bodied adults without dependent. If you can walk, breathe, blink, or walk with a job application, or can hold your hand above your damn head without passing the scout, then congratulations, because you owe the government 80 hours of productivity just to get that food card. In fact, if you miss 1 month, then that snap gonna be snapping in your goddamn ear saying, no, you got 3 goddamn months. After 3 months, you can just go hungry and starve with dignity. Now, before, this only hit the age from 18 to 54. Now, if you're under 65 and your bones are still halfway attached, you better be going to class, going to learn something. You better be doing something in order to get those damn snaps. Also, too, if you had children that were under 18, you were good. Now, the cutoff is 14. So you better figure something out. Because as soon as that child turns 15 years old, SNAP said that baby can take care of their damn self, get a job. So there's no more exceptions. If you are a veteran, work requirement. If you are homeless, work requirement. Foster kid, work requirement. SNAP basically said, everybody, we all gonna struggle together.
Yeah. Bruh is pretty animated. I'm not going to say his name because it's crazy. You guys can see the link to this video in the credit section below. But this is how a lot of people feel. And some of you out there might think, hey, where's the compassion? And you better watch out because you never know what life is going to bring your way. Be humble, so on and so forth. And I get that. Trust me. I'm not one that, again, I don't like to kick folks when they're down. But we also have to start holding people accountable. Like it, hate it, what have you, changes are coming down the pike. And what I would implore you to do, able-bodied, is to start preparing yourself for the requirements that you must meet in order to get these benefits. And what I think is going to happen is what always happens. When folks have to start meeting said requirements, then a lot of people are going to say it's not worth it anymore because I have to work. Folks like this gentleman, I say, let grace abound. You never know. You might need some help. I've needed help in the past as well, but you can't tell folks how to feel. It is what it is. And there's a lot of people that feel this way. And it's probably because they've seen abuse in the system. A couple of things that he said is very important. the age limits that they're increasing. So you're not an elder anymore at 55. That's going to 64. And then on the younger end of the spectrum, it's going to cut off at 14. I think that's wise because they got a lot of young folks out here that these folks are, the parents are having these kids and really aren't raising them. And it's starting to become a problem in a lot of places. And so once you take the economic benefit away from just having a child and have them aligned with rearing the child and making sure that the child becomes a productive member of society, then we'll start changing this. Watch this next gentleman. I don't know if he is just making a case for the dollar amount or if he's actually receiving these benefits. But this is what I'm talking about. This is where you get folks that are fed up because y'all won't stay off the internet showing what you got going on.
Okay, these are the last deposit transactions in the account. Snap deposit was posted on November 12th in the amount of $193.00. Transaction Snap deposit October 4th in the amount of $298.00.
Okay, so as you heard, I normally get $298 a month for SNAP for groceries. That's literally like all the food I eat, right? And now I just got $193. So like that, what, $106 difference. That's gone. The Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services had this on their website right here. Pause to read if you need to. So that says that 65% of SNAP benefit dollars have been issued for the month. So a 35% decrease in grocery money for the month for all 155,000 or so SNAP recipients in Nebraska. That's over $9.5 million less just for Nebraska. So according to USDA figures, nationwide, that's a loss of about $3 billion that would normally go to feed SNAP recipients across the United States. And that 35% decrease matches up with how much of the month is already gone. So like there's 65% of the days left in the month. So I think it's logical to ask, where's that $3 billion? Who's got that $3 billion?
I also think it's logical to ask, why are you getting SNAP benefits? If he's getting benefits, you guys let me know. I'm sure you will, but it seems like he is. And so I don't see any cognitive disabilities. He seems very articulate and very able-bodied. And if this is the case, this is what I'm talking about. You're spending all this time wondering where the money is going from the benefits that haven't gone out, but do you really need to be getting them? Because just from the eyeball test, and I could be wrong, but doesn't look like to me he should be receiving those benefits. What do you guys think? Let us know down in the comment section. Now, everybody's throwing out percentages and numbers and so on and so forth. And we seem to be showing folks like this gentleman that I just showed to make people feel some kind of way about people getting benefits. But there's a larger number of people that are like this last gentleman. And I want you to hear his story just so we can balance it out. So for those of us that tend to just see one thing, the abuse, there's also some folks that are trying to do what they need to do, and they might need a little help, not lifetime, help for a season to get back on their feet.
You want to know the truth about SNAP and SNAP recipients? There was a time in my life where I worked full-time, 40 hours per week. In addition to that, I drove at least 30 hours per week for Lyft and Uber. In addition to that, I donated plasma. I was still $700 in the red every month, not because I was living a luxurious life, but because I was just trying to afford basic necessities, including rent, car payment, car insurance, feeding my kids, child care, all the necessary necessities that we all have. I applied for SNAP benefits. I was denied because I didn't qualify. I applied for energy assistance. I was denied because I didn't qualify. I had to go through multiple organizations who helped me cover half my rent for a couple of months, driving all over my county to get help from different organizations to help me cover about half of my rent. In addition to that, I was fortunate enough to have an organization that helped me afford Christmas gifts for my kids that year. Without that organization, I don't know what the hell would have been under the tree, but it certainly wouldn't have been anything that was memorable to my children. So when you think about SNAP recipients and you think about demonizing poor people, putting them all into one category of lazy bums or thieves who are gaming the system, remember that 70% or more of SNAP recipients are employed. These are your fellow Americans. These are your neighbors, your co-workers, your child's parents, your child's friends' parents. These are people you know. These aren't far off people. They don't fit into one statistical category. They're not one race. They're not one culture. These are Americans who are struggling and being crushed by a system designed to squeeze us for everything we have. The majority of Americans are one tragedy or two lost paychecks from being in the same scenario of needing some sort of government assistance. So when you think you're better than people on assistance and you think that it's a nothing burger, that they're going to lose their benefits, just remember that you too could be in their situation overnight. Offer people grace. You never know what the person next to you is going through. People are going through struggles that you never know about. Give people grace. Respect other humans. Love other humans. Do what you can to help other humans. And stop thinking you're better than someone because of your present situation.
Judge, I'll say this, but for grace, so go I. And so I don't agree with everything that he did say, but I will say this. Be humble, because things can change for you. He did hit on some facts. A lot of us are 1 to 2 paychecks away. Over the last month and a half or so, you should be able to identify if that is you based upon these government shutdowns. If you were employed by the federal government and they did these types of things and things just went into chaos, this is a sign that we have to start doing better. The only way that I know to do that is to be more productive and find different, diverse streams of income. I've said it on this channel several times. This is how you guys will watch me. I think YouTube is a great platform, but it's work. It's not the only thing. I'm running into young men here recently on a house that I'm rehabbing, apprentice for electricians, plumbers, don't have to go to college, anything of that nature, $80,000 to $100,000 a year. It's not all gloom and doom. There's opportunities, but there's that 4-letter word there again. You have to work. So as he's saying, stuff could happen like that. Tomorrow, things can change. Again, I'm humble enough to understand that because of where I come from. But we're going to hold you to the fire. We're going to challenge you to get better. If you're able-bodied, and you don't have a reason to be on the government dole, they're giving you all kinds of signals. Now is the time to get off. Because if you remain there too long, you'll lose any type of effort or ganas, desire to want to be self-sufficient. If you've gone through one of these situations and you find yourself on the other side, shout out to you and continue blessings. If you decided, I want to get onto the housing ladder, I think assets are the way to go. All you got to do is just look recently and look at the things that are going up in value. And not even from that standpoint. A home is so much more than that. This is the place where you get your shalom, your peace. You strategize. You build your most valuable asset, your family, yourself. All of these things are what home ownership is about. If that's you and you're ready to take that step and you want to talk with someone that you know, like, and trust, I want to throw my name in the hat. My contact information is in the description of the video below. Reach out, have a conversation, and we can see if we're a fit for one and another. My time is up, but I thank you for yours. As I always say, let us be good to one another. Let grace abound. You guys watch these 2 videos next, And until the next time, indeed, y'all stay blessed.